With over 700 licensed games to choose from, the original NES had one of the best game libraries of all time. With huge titles like Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, Duck Hunt, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Contra, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, and Mega Man, it's no wonder so many games were overlooked or didn't receive the credit they deserved. Here are 10 very underrated games that, although they sold well, didn't receive the love they should have upon release. At number 10, we have Willow. The player takes the role of Willow, who wages a battle against evil, wielding swords, shields, magic spells, and items to defeat enemies. Unlike the film and arcade game, Willow generally travels alone, only briefly meeting several other characters. The game contains some role-playing video game elements, as Willow gains experience and levels up from defeating enemies in real-time combat. Rather than battery saving, it uses a password system to save the game. The game has no money system, and all items are found in the game. Willow can enter houses and converse with inhabitants of the villages to receive advice as well as items such as magic and weapons. At number 9, we have Gremlins 2: The New Batch. In this NES game, the player controls Gizmo through various levels in the building, armed with weapons ranging from the genetically modified Super Tomato in the laboratory to the new matchstick firing bow in the later sections. The goal of the game is to reach the Gremlin Control Center to wipe out all the gremlins inside. The Game Boy version was a side-scroller also featuring Gizmo. But honestly, the NES version was so much better. This game was way underrated. At number 8, we have Little Nemo, the Dream Master. The game revolves around a young boy in his own surreal dreams as he journeys to Slumberland. Nemo can ride certain animals such as a frog, a gorilla, or a mole by feeding them candy. Each animal has its own skills needed to complete each level. The purpose of the game is to travel to the Nightmare Land to rescue Morpheus, the king of Slumberland, from the clutches of the evil Nightmare King. At number 7, we have Batman. The game has a feature that was unusual in side-scrolling platform games at the time, largely to the NES itself. Unlike Sunsoft's Batman for the Sega Genesis, which features the grappling hook, Batman has the ability to do a wall jump. He is able to use 3 projectile weapons: the Batarang, Bat Disc, and Batpoon. Yeah, Batpoon, which are powered by pellet cartridges. The stages in the game consist of the Gotham City streets, Axis Chemical Plant, Gotham Sewers, Mysterious Laboratory, and the Gotham Cathedral Bell Tower. A number of notable DC comic villains appear as low-level minions in the game, including Deadshot, KG Beast, Heatwave, Shakedown, and Night Slayer. At number 6, we have DuckTales. Players control Scrooge McDuck as he travels around the world and outer space in search of 5 treasures to further increase his fortune. Scrooge is able to attack enemies and get around using his cane. On the ground, Scrooge can swing his cane to attack enemies and to break open or throw objects. While jumping, Scrooge can bounce on his cane similarly to a pogo stick and attack enemies from above. This also allows him to reach higher areas as well as bounce across hazardous areas that hurt his palmate. Along the way, Scrooge can find various diamonds hidden inside treasure chests or appearing in certain areas to increase his fortune, and ice cream that can restore his health. Scrooge will also encounter various characters from the series who have a variety of roles, such as providing hints, offering useful items, opening access to new areas, or attempting to stop Scrooge's progress. At number 5, we have Clash at Demon Head. Clash at Demon Head is an open-ended platformer. The player takes control of Billy Big Bang Blitz, who is capable of running, jumping, and shooting. He is initially armed with a handgun, though various upgrades can be purchased from a shop, such as the boomerang gun. He later gains the ability to perform various powers by collecting force, including shrinking, teleportation to previously visited areas, flight, healing, and invincibility. The game is divided into a number of smaller stages, each representing a point on the overworld map. There are over 40 routes the player can take in the game, and the player must explore the world to progress. The game is non-linear in that the player can choose which direction they go, being allowed to backtrack and visit different stages. At number 4, we have Rygar. Rygar is a side-scrolling platform game created by Tecmo in 1986, and it was originally released for the arcades in Japan. The player assumes the role of a legendary warrior battling through hostile landscape. The main feature of the gameplay is the use of the weapon called the disc armor, a shield with a chain attached to it. Now, a little side note about Rygar: many game critics believe that the disc armor was the influence to the Blades of Chaos for God of War. At number 3, we have Bucky O'Hare. Bucky O'Hare stars a rabbit as the captain of the righteous Indignation, which protects the parallel universe of the Aniverse. His other crew members, Duck Deadeye, Cat Jenny, Android Blinky, and Human Willie, have been captured by the Toad Air Marshal. The first 4 levels take place on the green, red, blue, and yellow planets, where the crew members are imprisoned. The player starts out with Bucky, and the other kidnapped crew members are playable once rescued and have different abilities and weapons. After all the members are saved, the Toad Air Marshal then kidnapped the righteous Indignation, again in the magma tanker. The remainder of the game involves the crew members saving each other, blowing up the magma tanker, and escaping. At number 2, we have Faxanadu. Faxanadu is a side-scrolling action role-playing game and is sometimes classified as a Metroidvania. Players guide the hero through a screen-by-screen series of fields, towns, and dungeons. The hero can walk, jump, and climb ladders, all typical characteristics of a platform game. Along the way, he may also purchase usable items with gold, equip and use bladed weapons against enemies, equip armor, and cast magic projectiles. In addition, he can access information regarding the game's events by speaking with townfolk or consulting other sources. And the number 1 most underrated NES game of all time is Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is a side-scrolling platformer with role-playing elements. The player controls Pit through 2-dimensional levels which contain monsters, obstacles, and items. Pit's primary weapon is a bow with an unlimited supply of arrows that can be upgraded with 3 collectible power items. The guard crystal shields Pit from enemies. The flaming arrows hit multiple targets, and the holly bow increases the range of the arrows. These upgrades will work only if Pit's health is high enough. The game keeps track of the player's score and increases Pit's health bar at the end of a level if enough points were collected. Though this game sold 1.7 million units, it did not receive the recognition it deserved because of the more popular games that were released around the same time. So there are my top 10 underrated NES games. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, or let me know what games you think should have been on this list. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out this channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. And until the next video, game on, everybody.